Okay, think about this for a second. What if the most important organ for your physical health isn't your heart or your lungs? What if it's the one you're using to think right now? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the brain's secret job as your body's ultimate master regulator.
So, let's just cut right to the chase, shall we? Is your brain really in the driver's seat when it comes to your physical health? I mean, we're always taught to focus on diet, exercise, genetics, the usual suspects. But what if the real command center has been right there, between our ears, this whole time?
Well, the short answer, and this is backed by a ton of science, is a huge yes. Your brain is controlling your health way more than you probably realize. And look, this isn't some sci-fi concept. This is fundamental biology that we're just now really starting to get our heads around.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to uncover this secret job of the brain. Then we'll see it in action with something we all know, stress. After that, we'll see how our thoughts can literally become biology and look at the undeniable power of belief. We'll make a super important clarification about what this all means, and then, the best part, we'll get practical with how you can start hacking your own master regulator.
First up, let's jump right in and pull back the curtain on your brain's big secret. It's time you met your body's real command center.
Okay, so the big idea here is what we call the master regulator. See, your brain isn't just sitting up there thinking thoughts. No, it's an active, dynamic command system, constantly coordinating all of your body's essential functions every single second of every day. This kind of reframes our whole idea of health, right? It's not just physical, it's deeply neurobiological. And honestly, the sheer scope of this job is just mind-blowing. Your brain is constantly tweaking your hormones, your immune response, your heart rate, even how fast you heal from a cut. It's fine-tuning everything from your pain levels and inflammation to your metabolism, and it's all happening in the background without you even having to think about it.
So, that's the theory. But how does this actually work in the real world? Well, let's look at the absolute best, most common example we all know, stress.
It all happens in this super quick three-step cascade. First, your brain senses a threat. And here's the crazy part. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a real physical danger, like a lion, and a modern-day threat, like a packed inbox. Next, it floods your system with stress hormones like cortisol. And boom, your body reacts physically. Your heart starts pounding, your digestion hits the brakes, and your immune system shifts into high gear.
But, and this is so important, stress really has two different phases. In the short term, that response is amazing. It gets you ready for action. The problem is when that alarm bell, that ding from your inbox, just never shuts off. That's when it becomes harmful. Chronic stress can wear down your immune system, mess with your gut, wreck your sleep, and lead straight to burnout. Your body is just doing what your brain is telling it to do.
Okay, so stress is a big one, but it's not just about stress. What if basically all our thoughts, our feelings, our beliefs are constantly sculpting our physical reality? That's exactly where we're going next.
And believe me, this isn't some fringe idea. There's a whole scientific field dedicated to this, and yeah, it's a mouthful. Psychoneuroimmunology. But the name tells you everything you need to know. It's the study of the direct link between your mind, the psycho, your nervous system, the neuro, and your immune system, the immunology.
So what does that actually mean for you? Well, it means your thinking patterns can directly mess with things like your hormone levels and inflammation. For example, we know that anxiety can literally make pain feel worse. But on the flip side, there are incredible studies showing that things like optimism can genuinely speed up recovery from surgery. Your thoughts are creating real, biological effects.
Okay, now we're getting to what might be the most powerful, most undeniable proof of all. Let's talk about the raw power of your beliefs. So lean in for this one, because this is probably the single best piece of evidence we have that your mind directly, and I mean directly, changes your biology. It shows up in two ways, the placebo effect and the nocebo effect. I'm sure you've heard of the placebo effect, right? A positive belief in a fake treatment, like a sugar pill, leads to a real, measurable improvement. But have you heard of its dark twin, the nocebo effect? A negative belief, like being afraid of side effects, can create real, measurable symptoms, even from something harmless. They're two sides of the exact same coin. Your belief becomes your biology. And I really want to hammer this point home. This is not fake biology. It's not just feeling better. No, these are real physical changes that scientists can actually measure. We're talking about shifts in brain chemistry, pain pathways in the body turning on or off, and actual changes in immune markers and hormone levels in your blood. All of it driven by belief.
Okay, this is obviously super powerful stuff, which is why we need to pause here for a really crucial clarification. It's really easy to misinterpret this, and the last thing this is about is blaming someone for being sick.
Okay, seriously? This next part is maybe the most important truth in this whole explainer. We have to get this right.
So let's be crystal clear. This does not mean that illnesses are imaginary or that it's all in your head. It absolutely does not mean you can just think your way out of a serious disease. And it for sure does not mean medical treatment isn't necessary. That would be a really dangerous way to look at this.
What it does mean, though, is that your brain is a massive player in your overall health equation. And it means the absolute best results often come from combining top-notch medical care with these brain-focused practices, like reducing stress or getting better sleep. It's a partnership.
All right, so that brings us to the big finale. What do we do with all this information? It's fascinating, sure, but what can you actually do about it? Let's get practical and talk about how you can start hacking your own master regulator.
And the best news here is that the tools to do this, they're not some secret, expensive thing. They're accessible to pretty much everyone. It really comes down to building helpful habits. We're talking about fundamentals like good sleep and moving your body. But it's also about things like managing stress, connecting with people you care about, and even just taking a few calm breaths. Every single one of these sends a powerful everything's okay signal from your brain straight to the rest of your body.
You know, all of this really boils down to one powerful idea. And this quote just says it perfectly. Your brain is not separate from your health. It is driving it in real time. So I want to leave you with one final question to chew on. Looking at that list, knowing everything we've just talked about, what's just one small thing you're going to do for your master regulator this week?